We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about login controls in ASP.NET. Authentication and authorization are two different functions which are used to ensure a secure login of user to a website. Over here, authentication is the mechanism to identify a user, while authorization is a mechanism to specify an access level of an authenticated user to access secure resources on the websites. We can say that authentication is a process to identify the particular user is genuine or not, and authorization is the process which gives the access level to the user. For example, access level for the user to a particular website, like an admin. For example, an admin has full access of the website, then some for a particular user, that particular user may have some less access than admin. So authorization is the process to decide the access level. These mechanisms are implemented by a particular set of ASP.NET controls. That controls are known as login controls. It provides an all-inclusive login solution for the user of a web application. The login control automatically interact with the ASP.NET membership service. Over here, membership service is used to validate the credential of user and grant or deny access to the user. The membership service is an important feature of ASP.NET that helps you to validate and storing user credentials. In order to authenticate users, the login controls make use of the membership service where each user is provided with unique username and password. There is a default membership provider that is configured automatically while using login control in web application. We can say in other words that ASP.NET membership service and login control work simultaneously to register and authenticate the user. The membership API can be described by using two new classes, and that classes are membership class and membership user class. The membership class provides the membership service on its own and also provides the functionality of creating the user, validating the user, and more. The membership user class describe individual user and provide methods and properties for changing the password and retrieving the last login date. The ASP.NET membership service helps you to implement the following functionalities, and that functionalities are creating new user and passwords, okay, then storing the membership information. That information may be username, password, email addresses, and other supporting data. Next is the authenticating the visitors of the website. Next is allowing the user to create and reset the password. Okay, so change password facility will be there. Create a unique identification system for authenticated user. The ASP.NET login controls are login control, login view control, login status control, login name control, and change password control. We'll start with the login control. The login control provides a user interface which authenticates user and grant them access to desired services or resources on the basis of the credentials such as username and password filled in by them. The namespace hierarchy for the login control is system.object, system.web.ui.control, system.web.ui.webcontrols.webcontrol, system.web.ui.webcontrols.composite control, and system.web.ui.webcontrols.login. Now we'll discuss few methods, events, and properties available for login control. We'll start with the methods. First method is create style control. It creates individual control of login control and associates event handles with their event. Next is on authenticate method. It raises the authenticate event to authenticate users. Next is on login. It raises the logged in event when user log on to a website after successful authentication. Next is on logging in. It raises the logging in event after user enter login information before authentication takes place. And last one is ongoing error. It raised the login error even when user fail on login. Now we'll discuss few events of the login control. First event is authenticate. It initiated when a user is authenticated. Next is logged in. It initiated when user log on to the website and has been authenticated. Next is login in. It initiated when a user submitted login information before authentication takes place. And last one is login error. Initiated when a login error is detected. Now we'll discuss properties available for login control. We'll start with the first, that is border padding. It retrieves or specifies the padding of border of the login control. Next is checkbox style. It retrieves the reference of the style object to define the display setting of the remember me checkbox. Next is create user icon URL. It retrieves the location of an image to display the link for new user for registration. Next is create user text. It retrieves or specifies the text of a link to a registration page for new user. Next is created user URL. It retrieves or specifies the URL of the new user registration page. Next is destination page URL. It retrieves or specifies the URL of the page display on the user when a login attempt is successful. Next is display remember me. Retrieves or specify the value that indicates whether or not to display the remember me checkbox. Next is failure action. It retrieves or specify the action that occurs when a login attempts fail. Next is failure text. It retrieves or specify the text display when a login attempt fails. Next is failure text style. It retrieves to reference of style properties to define the look of the failure text. Next is help page icon URL. It retrieves the location of an image to display the link to the login help page. Next is help page text. It is used to retrieve or specify the text of a link to the login help page. Next is help page URL. It retrieves or specify the URL of the login help page. Next is hyperlink style. It retrieves a collection of properties to define the look of the hyperlink in login control. Next is instruction text. It retrieves or specifies the login instruction text for user. Next is instruction text style. It retrieves a reference of the table item style object to define the style of the instruction text. Next is layout template. It retrieves or specifies the template to display login control. Next is login button image URL. It retrieves or specifies the URL of image to use as the login button. Next is login button text. It is used to specify or retrieve the text for login controls login button. Next is orientation. It retrieves or specify the value to specify the position of element of login control on the page. Next is password. It retrieves the password entered by the user. Next is password label text. It retrieves or specifies the text of the label for password text box. Next is password recovery text. It is used to specify or retrieve the text of a link of password recovery page. Next is password recovery URL. It is used to specify or retrieve the URL of password recovery page. Next is password required error message. It is used to retrieve or specify the error message that is displayed when the password field is left blank. This error message is also displayed in the validation summary control. Next is remember me text. It is used to retrieve or specify the text of the label for remember me checkbox. Next is remember me set. It retrieves or specify a value indicating whether to send a persistent authentication cookie to user's browser or not. Next is title text. It is used to retrieve or specify the title of the login control. Next is username. It is used to retrieve the username entered by the user. And last one is user label text. It is used to retrieve or specify the text of the label for the username text box. Now over here we can see login control. It is look like this. Inside this login control is a combination of standard .NET controls, and those are: first is username label and text box. We can say over here two controls is there. One is label, in which username displayed as a caption, and second one is text box. Okay, so username label and text box. It gets a string from user. This string is used to authenticate a user during the login process. Next is password label and text box, same as user. There is a label used to describe the caption password, and one text box is also used. Okay, it is used to get the password as specified by the user. The text box control is always encrypted to hide the user password from getting displayed in the plain text. Login button. It is used to submit the user's request for authentication. Next under control available in our login control is checkbox, and this is for remember me next time checkbox. It enables user to store their credential as a persistent cookie on the user's machine by selecting the displayed checkbox control. It helps the user to enter the credential the next time the user wants to log on. Next control is the title and the instruction. It is used to display the information about the control. And last one is validation. It is used to validate the user's credential. It means username and password. Okay, apart from this there is a smart tag available. Okay, through this smart tag we can go through the advanced options. Now we'll discuss login view control. Login view control is a web server control which is used to display two different views of web page of any website depending on whether the user has logged on to web page as registered user or visitor. Okay, through this login view control we can have two different view of our single web page. Okay, for example, if user is logged in, then we can have some different view of our web page, and if user is not logged in, then it is a kind of simple visitor web page view will be there. The login view control provides a way of altering the look of the page or showing different content to different groups of users. Okay, so the category wise or the role of group wise web page view will be decided. If the user is authenticated, the control display the appropriate information to the user with the help of following view templates. Over here three different templates available. First is anonymous template. It is used to display when the user is not logged in. Okay, next is logged in template. It is used to display when the user is logged in. And last one is role groups. It is used to display when the user who has logged in is a member of specific role with defined role group template. Okay, so these three templates are used to give different views to a single web page. For example, if we want to give some view before logged in, so we can use anonymous template. If we want to give some view after login, then we can have do the code inside the logged in template. And if our website or web application have some uh, role assigned to some user, then according to that role, the view if we want to give, then we have to use a role group template. The namespace used for the login view control is system.object, system.web.ui.control, and system.web.ui.webcontrols.login view. Now we'll discuss a few methods, properties, and events of login view control. First is methods. First method is data bind method. It is used to bind the data source to login view control and all its child controls. Next is focus method. It is used to specify input focus to the login view control. Next is on view change control. It is raised to view change event after the login view control change its view. And last one is on view changing. It raises the view changing event before the login view control change its view. Next is properties of login view control. Inside it, first is anonymous template. It retrieves or specifies the template that needs to be displayed to user who are not logged in to the website. Next is controls. It is used to retrieve the control collection object that contains the child control for the login view control. Next is enable theming. It is used to retrieve or specify a value indicating whether the theme can be applied to login view control or not. Next is logged in template. It is used to retrieve or specify the template that needs to be displayed to user who are logged into website according to the role group property. Next is role group. It is used to retrieve a collection of role groups that associated contain template with particular role. And last one is scheme ID. It is used to specify or retrieve the scheme to apply to the login view control. There is two methods available inside the login view control. First is view change. It initiated after the view is changed, and next is view changing. It initiated before the view is changed. Now we'll discuss a combined example of login control and login view control in Visual Studio. Okay, to understand the login view control and login control, I already create a web application over here and giving the name it to login control. Inside this web application, I'm adding a web page that is index.aspx. Okay, I'm use a label and it is for login control example. Now over here I'm design something. I want to give the demo of how I am doing this. For that I am taking another web page. Okay, now just go inside the login control, and firstly you have to drag and drop login view control. Okay, now we already entered the login view control. Okay, now inside this login view control we have to drag and drop login control. I just drag and drop the login control. You can check the login control over here. Okay, now if you go to source, you can check that login control is directly entered into anonymous template. We already discussed login view control have three different views. Okay, and that three views are anonymous template, logged in template, and role group. It means login anonymous template work before logged in, and our login process is obviously it will done before the logged in. So uh, that login control is directly put inside the anonymous template automatically. Now if we want to give some message after user has successfully logged in, okay, then this process will be inside the template logged in. So we can put like this: inside the ASP colon login view control, we have to use a tag that is logged in template. Okay, now inside that logged in template we have to simply put a message that is welcome, you have successfully logged in. Okay, so now we can see the view of it. Okay, over here you have logged in successfully, not display, because when we logged in, we successfully logged in, then just this message will be display, and before the login this login control is display. Okay, if we want to give some message before the logged in, then we can do like this: inside the anonymous template and just give a message: you are not logged in, please log in. Okay, so this message will be displayed with the login control like this. Okay, so I already designed web page for this particular application. I used a login view control. Inside that I just put a message: you are not logged in, please log in. Then I'm using a login control over here, and I also put a message that welcome, you have successfully logged in, inside the logged in template. And this logged in template, we already know now that this logged in template will work at after login. Okay, now the question arises that how we can manage the username and password. We had some required, for example, database or anything where the username and password is a password we have to store. But we already discussed in our introduction that there will be a membership service. We have to use that membership service to store the username and password and to authenticate the username and password. For that we have to just click on smart tag and then go to administrator website. It will take you to the Brave web browser. Okay, so ASP.NET website administrative tool will be open here. There is this web page is tabbed web page. Inside this web page, four tabs are available. First is home, next is security, next is application, and next is provider. You can check some basic information is given on home page, that is security, enable you to set up and edit user role and access permission of user site. Existing users are two. I already tried for two users, so it will give us a two in user, it will display us two existing users already. Okay, now if we want to create some login credential, or if we want to register some user, we have to go into security tab. Just click on security tab. Okay, now just click on user security setup wizard to configure security step by step. Okay, it will take us to the ASP.NET website administrative tool inside security setup wizard. Okay, now for over here total 7 step uh, given to us. We just have to follow step by step process, and at the end we can register our users uh, for the our website. Okay, first is welcome, it just gives an information to us. We just clicked on next button. Okay, after that second step is select access mode. We have to select access mode. For us there is a two access mode available. First is from the internet and second one is from the local area. If we will select from the local area, our web applications and the authentication and the login credential uh, are only available for particular local area only. It will not work on outside the local area. If we want to give access to users outside the local area, then we have to select from internet. So I select from internet only, then click on next. It will take us to step 3. That step 3 is data stored. Just it will gives information your application is currently configured to use. Okay, we just have to click on next. It will take us to step 4, that is define role. Okay, over here it will give us a checkbox that enable a role for the website. Okay, if you want to enable role for this website, then select the enable role for the website checkbox. However, in this case, user of roles is disabled, as enable role for this website checkbox is. Click on next. The next step is add new user. Okay, now we have to add user. For example, I'm giving a username John. Okay, then I'm going to write some password over here. For the password, few criteria they are already decided by this administrative tool, and that is the password that is to be entered should be minimum of 7 character with at least one numeric character and one special character. Okay, so for example, I'm giving a name John at the rate 123. So my password is combination of uh, alphabets as well as some special character. I'm using at the rate and digits 123. I'm entering that password again for confirm. So I'm entering John at the rate 123. Okay, then I have to enter email ID, for example John at the rate gmail.com. Okay, and I just have to click on create user. Okay, over here we can have a checkbox also, active user. If we want to directly active that user, we have to check that checkbox. Okay, it will give us a message complete, your account has been successfully created. If we want to create some another user, then we have to click continue. Okay, it will asking for a new user also. Okay, if we don't want to add, we just have to click next button. Okay, now next step is add new access rules. Okay, on this page you can select the entire website or specific folder of website for which you want to set the permission. You can see a folder over here. If we want to give access, we just have to select some specific folder. If we want to give a full access to user, then we have to keep remain as same. If we want to give some folders access to user, then uh, we have to select only that particular folder. Select the specific folder below. Select a directory for this rule section. Section select the user below. Rule applies to section. Select the permission below permission section. In this case, all users are granted the permission to access the entire website. That's why we are not selecting anything. We are just keeping root folder, and just we have to click on next button. Okay, uh, our last step, that is step number 7, is over here. It is for complete. It will just give us a message completing the security setup wizard. We just have to click on finish. Okay, I already had 2 existing user. Now it will show me 3 user because we are adding it. Okay, now our application is ready to implement. We just have to run. Okay, I'm just clicking on run button. It will take me to the Google Chrome. Okay, so our application is give output like this. Okay, you are not logged in, please log in. We just put that message inside the anonymous template, and we also put a login control into anonymous template. So before login, this message and login control will display. If we will fill the username and password correctly and then we'll click on login button, then logged in template will come into the picture. And what we'll put into the logged in pitch logged in control, that is message that is welcome, you have successfully logged in. So we'll try with added user credential, that is John. Okay, as our username, and our password is John at 123. Okay, so I just entered a wrong password over here and try what it will give us. Okay, so it will give us a direct message over here, your login attempt was not successful, try please try again, because we had entered wrong password. Also it will give us a checkbox. That checkbox is for remember me next time. If we'll select this, the user credential will be stored inside our browser's cookie. So next time when we'll open this web page, already username and password will automatically filled. Okay, so now we'll enter the correct username and password. For example, John, and John password as a John@123. Okay, now I'm going to click on logged in button. Okay, our credential is successfully authenticate, and it will give us a message that is welcome, you have successfully logged in. Okay, that's it from the example of login control and login view control. In our next lecture we will discuss about remaining login control.